Why Ocarina of Time is the best Zelda game and it isn't even close. I'm gonna go ahead and start this off by saying I might be biased because not only is Ocarina of Time my favorite Zelda game, it's also my favorite game of all time. The only game that comes close to me is Elden Ring, which is my second favorite game ever. Zelda as a whole is probably my favorite game series ever, and I love every game in the series, and some of them are just better than others. Also, in case you're wondering, Twilight Princess is my second favorite, and I'm willing to admit that it has the best art style and the best Link design too. But back to Ocarina of Time. The reason it's the best game in the series to me and why nothing else comes close is for multiple reasons. Reason number one, the starting area. Every Zelda game has a beginning, and they all start perfectly. But to me, Ocarina of Time takes the win in this competition. When you first start the game, you wake up as Child Link and you immediately get told what to do in my Navi. Go see the Great Deku Tree. You leave your house, talk to Saria, and you go get the sword from the chest and collect rupees to buy the shield. After that, you just go see the Great Deku Tree and you start your first dungeon. It's such a fast-paced starting area, and I really like that about it. And I'm not saying the other Zelda games don't have good starting areas, or that they're long or boring. I just think Ocarina of Time does a better job of it. Reason number two, the music. I feel like a lot of people claim a certain video game has the best soundtrack ever, and the reason for this is simple. Music in a video game is important, and it can really draw people in and hold their attention. Not just music, but like ambience noise too. Sound in general has a way of appealing to everyone, including myself. Now let's talk about the actual music in Ocarina of Time, which is some of the best soundtracks found in a video game. It feels like everywhere you go in the game has the perfect music to match it. The starting area, Kokiri Forest for example, has the perfect music for the area. It really does make you feel like you're in a happy magical forest that's full of joy. Peter Pan type stuff, you know? And then when you finally leave the forest and go out into Hyrule Field for the first time, you hear this epic music that is just screaming adventure at you. It's telling you that you have officially set out on your journey and there's a big world out there to explore and lots of things to do. I've played the game so many times, and every time I play it, I get so excited and happy when I start out in Hyrule Field, because that's when the game really starts and when the fun begins. No Star Wars joke intended there. Reason number three, the dungeons. Like I talked about before, the starting dungeon is really fun and well made, and the other dungeons in the game are no exception. I even like the water temple, and a lot of people hate that dungeon. My only complaint about that dungeon is having to take the iron boots off and putting them back on constantly, but that isn't really an annoyance in the 3DS version. I think my favorite temple in the game is the Forest Temple, and it used to be the Shadow Temple because of how dark and scary that temple is, and that's just my kind of dungeon. But recently, a friend asked me which temple was my favorite, and when he told me why the Forest Temple was his favorite, it got me thinking and made me realize that the Forest Temple really is a perfect dungeon, and it's probably my favorite now too. Sorry, Shadow Temple. Anyway, there really isn't a bad dungeon in the game in my opinion. And if you guys think there is a bad one, then comment what it is. Reason number four, child and adult. I think what really sets this game apart from the other Zelda games is being able to play as both child and adult Link. In most Zelda games, you play as one version of Link, and if there is another version of him, it's usually a transformation like a wolf or a painting or just something random and cool like that. But in this game, it's like you're playing as two different Links. And I mean, you aren't, because they're the same Link, just traveling through time. But what makes these Links seem different to each other, though, is how they look, for one, and how Hyrule is in that set time, which is the more major thing. When you're a child, you know that things are going to go bad, but Hyrule still has a lot of good in it. As soon as you become Adult Link, though, you see how bad Hyrule has gotten, and Castletown is all messed up and has these creepy, lanky, zombie-looking dudes walking around. And yes, I know they're called Redeads, I just wanted to describe how they look. Anyway, Hyrule is much darker now, and the stakes are way higher. Things are serious, and you have to go defeat Ganondorf if you want Hyrule to be saved. Conclusion. I just want to say that I love every Zelda game, and even though I think Ocarina of Time is the best, I'm not saying my opinion is the only correct one. I'm just adding this in because I understand not liking it when people just keep glazing a game over and over again, and I don't want to be that kind of annoying person. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, then please leave a like and comment your favorite Zelda game, or leave a comment telling me why you agree or disagree with what I said. If you want to see more of my videos in the future, then click that subscribe button, and I'll see you all in the next video.